I'm Chris Heinonen from Reference Home Theater, and this is the MediaLight Mk2 Flex Bias Light. The MediaLight is an adjustable bias light that features a color temperature that hits the D65 HDTV standard and a very wide spectral gamut. But what benefits does this bring to your home theater, and do you need a bias light at all? If you're watching your movies in a completely dark room, you're actually doing it wrong. While home theater enthusiasts talk about watching in a pitch black cave, you actually want a bit of light in the room as well. Having some light makes it easier on your eyes to see the transitions from bright to dark scenes so you don't miss fine details. But the last thing you want is a light that hits your screen, since that will destroy shadow details. You also don't want your light to be a different color temperature than your TV, since then it can make the image appear too blue or too red even if it's accurate. A bias light, like the MediaLight Flex, attaches to the back of your TV to provide an even light source that won't reflect off the screen and makes it easier to capture all the details on screen. The MediaLight comes in sizes from 2 meters to 6 meters, depending on the size of your TV and if it's wall-mounted or on a stand. Included in the box with the bias light are a remote and a USB IR adapter, so you can control the power and intensity of the bias light from the couch. The MediaLight runs off the USB power from your TV and includes all the parts necessary to install it and route the cables out of the way. It also has an AC adapter in case your TV doesn't provide enough power over USB. Installing the MediaLight Flex is easy, as it's a flexible LED strip with adhesive on the back side. I installed it on a 75-inch TCL 8 Series TV that was on a TV stand, but it will be easier to do if you can lay the TV flat. You want to make sure to buy a length that is too long rather than too short, as you can trim the LED strip to be sized correctly for your TV. After I installed the MediaLight, I used a test pattern from Spears & Munsell to set the level of my bias light to be correct for my TV. You don't want it to be too bright or your eyes might close too much to catch all the shadow details on screen. MediaLight also provides a test pattern on their website to help you get the setting correct. What sets the MediaLight apart from the other bias lights is that you can find out how accurate the MediaLight is and how wide of a spectral gamut its LEDs can put out. Being accurate is very important here, since any light that isn't the same color temperature as your TV is going to introduce a tint. If the bias light is too blue, then your image is going to appear too red by comparison. A wide spectral gamut means that the light is going to correctly reproduce the full gamut of colors in your room. A narrow spectral gamut can lead to colors looking washed out or incorrect and also take away from the image on screen. Most bias lights don't advertise these numbers because they aren't accurate and they don't have a wide spectral gamut, so their bias light can actually make your image look worse. Once I had it installed, the MediaLight Flex worked perfectly. Since the USB port on my TV is always on, I had to use the remote to turn it on and off manually, but that also kept it from being on during the day when I didn't need it. Watching movies, even HDR with bright highlights, was great with the MediaLight since I never had issues making out any shadow details and there were no reflections on the screen to distract me. What my family liked about the MediaLight is that it provides light in the room without taking away from the image. Walking around the coffee table or finding the remote or popcorn while watching a movie at night is much easier than before, even if that's not the goal of the MediaLight. My kids enjoyed playing around with the backlight level of the MediaLight for a few days, but eventually settled into just turning it off and on while they watched yet another Marvel or Star Wars movie on Disney+. The main downside to the MediaLight Flex is the cost compared to other bias lights. As I mentioned, those other bias lights can take away from the quality of your image, so I wouldn't buy one, but MediaLight recently added the LX1 bias light that isn't quite as accurate, but is still more accurate than the competition and costs much less. It has fewer LEDs, so the light isn't quite as even, and the dimmer is an optional purchase, but it costs around half of what the MediaLight Flex does. For my main TV, I'll keep using the MediaLight Flex, but for other TVs and my computer monitor, I'll just use the LX1 to still get the benefits of the bias light, but not have to spend quite as much. For anyone that watches TV in the dark, a bias light can really improve the image. Below, you'll find links to all the lights I talked about here, as well as our written review of the MediaLight Flex bias light. If you'd like to be notified when our next review comes out, make sure to use the like and subscribe buttons below, as those really help our channel as well. And thanks for watching.